Massive day for the crypto industry. So much is going on. Officially, a Solana spot ETF has been filed. So Robin was right, kind of. Talk about why I said kind of, but very bullish for Solana as the price has reacted to this news. Solana is up almost 10% over the last 24 hours. What does it mean for Solana? What is the next stop? Is this rally going to continue? Are we going to see more filings for a Solana ETF? Maybe a Cardano ETF, an XRP ETF. We'll have that discussion. Also, the largest Bitcoin miner has officially announced they've been mining Kaspa for almost 1 year. What does that mean for the Kaspa token? Gary Gensler takes a few more punches. Another L is getting sued in court by Coinbase. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about a new marketing video, a new advertisement from Bitwise for the Ethereum ETF. There is so much bullishness happening on the timeline. Plus, presidential debate today. Will a crypto question be one of the first three? We did a poll on Twitter. We're going to share with you the results of that. And we're going to take a look at the altcoin markets, prices, and charts. With that being said, let's not waste any time and let's get right into it.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we're the entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel. We take old, boring, and, well, stale information and repackage that whole thing up in a fun and sexy Las Vegas flair kind of way. We're back. I saw 62,000 this morning.
Wow.
And that means one thing is confirmed. A bear market is no longer...
It's over?
The bear market is over.
It's over, guys.
The bull market is here.
We're back.
You know what? New all-time highs are around the corner.
We're so back, guys.
70,000. And also, we have a big day today. Lots of news, as you mentioned. Lots of things to go over. But there's also the presidential debate tonight, which we're expecting some cryptocurrency answers. And here we have a picture of the current president, Joe Biden, almost ready for the debate. Yeah, so he's getting ready. He's preparing. Yeah, he's be there soon.
Kick off the show like that, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'd like to kick off the show with some crypto news. You know, you said on this show a few weeks ago, you said, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Solana spot ETF filing. I pushed back on you, said, we don't even have a futures. And you said that doesn't matter. So you were right in that sense. But you did say it was BlackRock, and it was not BlackRock. So you were wrong in that sense. So 50-50, you were right. This bombshell just dropped this morning. From James Safer, first Solana ETF filing in the U.S. Will be interesting to see if other issuers immediately follow suit. Early thoughts are that this only has a shot to launch sometime in 2025 if we have a new admin in the White House and the SEC. Even then, it is not guaranteed. I want to share this post from Matthew Siegel, excuse me if I pronounced that miscorrectly, but he is the head of digital assets at Van Eck. Pretty long post here. I'll just kind of read brief parts of it. So I'm excited to announce that Van Eck just filed for the first Solana exchange-traded fund. Some thoughts on why we believe Solana is a commodity. Why did we file for it? Talks about Solana being a competitor to Ethereum, open source blockchain software, various applications including payments, trading, gaming, and social interactions. Talks about by enabling thousands of transactions per second with minimal fees and employing an advanced security mechanism, we believe Solana stands out as a powerful and accessible blockchain software. Let's face it. They ain't launching an ETF because of tech. They're launching the ETF because they know they're going to make a lot of money on it, right? Just stop. If you want to launch an ETF because of the tech, you'd launch an ICP. You'd launch a Kaspa. You'd launch a whatever else.
So you're saying, okay, so let me ask you a question.
It's too early to be in a battle here, please.
Let me ask you a question. Is the ETF for Ethereum only because of speculation?
Because it's the second largest cryptocurrency in the world.
No, but what I'm saying is that like the real world asset and the BlackRock thing, it doesn't really matter.
They don't
care.
Right? No, it doesn't matter. It's not technology that people launch ETFs. It's because they see, oh my God, they made they got $18 billion worth of Bitcoin under management in 4 months. What can we get from Ethereum? What's the next one? Solana. What's the next one? XRP, Cardano. You're not launching ETFs because of the technology. Can we agree on that?
Why not? No, I'm serious. Like, why can't
What does technology have anything to do with people getting exposure to Solana via an ETF?
there? Okay, let me explain something to you. There are ETFs out there right now that have tech companies in them, right?
Uh-huh.
So are those not anything to do with tech?
But I challenge you to go to those ETFs and look at their volumes.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course, because you can purchase the product, you can buy just regular stocks outside of the ETF. With crypto, you have one there's no parent company you go buy stocks on. So you have one option, ETF. And so why are they even interested in Solana? Well, Solana is got a ton of transactions. It has a community. It has an insane amount of total value locked. They got partnerships with Visa. They are widening their scope when it comes to stable coins, facilitating DeFi. Everything that we're supposed to be seeing being built on Ethereum, it's getting a lot of competition, at least ETH is, in Solana, right? It has the scalability, the transaction, the throughput, the low transaction fees. Compared to Ethereum, it's more practical, right? I'm not saying that the community's gone in ETH, but hey, if we want to process 1,000 transactions in the next 24 hours, would you use Ethereum or Solana? Well, obviously you would use Solana if you had to pick one of the two. Unless you're okay with paying $6 a transaction fee. That's at a pretty damn low cost right now. Historically, it's been $200. And so from a use case perspective, I know you think that Wall Street is here only for gains, and perhaps majority of the people are. But there's a reason that Nvidia's stock price is where it is. It's not just simply speculation. Well, they're the leader in tech for AI services, graphic cards. They're just the go-to standard when it comes to putting a graphic card in your damn computer. And their go-to standard for wanting compute power for AI. That is why they're number one. And so you ask me why they launched a Solana ETF. They could have launched a Doge one. We talked about it before. If they would have launched a Doge one, I would have simply been like, that's 100% just because of price. They want to just make money, right? There's no reason to launch Doge ETF. There's zero reason if outside of price and speculation, right? Do you agree? It's not the ideal store of value. It is sufficiently decentralized. I would consider Dogecoin a commodity, right? There's not really anyone controlling or changing things there. And so if it would have been Doge, sure, that argument 100% valid. Solana, however, though, is tech. It's crypto tech. It's the future of transactions. And at the moment, it's supplanting Ethereum. And it's not even a close race right now as far as percentage gains, community gain, how many people are onboarding, wallets. Like, Solana's moving fast. It went from damn near dead, under $10, to a $200 token, briefly $200 token. I know currently it's at a 130 or 140. But the reality of it is, Solana is here to stay, and it's building, and people are building on it, and not to mention venture capital and institutions like it, and it's making partnerships. So for me, it is absolutely the front runner in tech. So
that's why it's got its ETF.
Yeah, 100%. Then why didn't they pick Doge?
It's a meme coin.
Okay, then if you
Solana is the number 5 ranked cryptocurrency.
Okay, you just said it. It's a meme coin. Why did you say it's a meme coin?
Because it's a meme coin.
No. Why do you mean? Because it doesn't do anything, right?
Robin.
No, I'm asking.
What drives volume? What drives volume? Outside of just speculation, what drives volume? Utility and use case. So all this you're saying is correct, but they didn't file it because, the tech is so good, man, and they're doing so many things.
They did. Oh, or otherwise they would have filed Doge. I'm dead ass serious. You literally answered your own question. I said, why didn't they file Doge? You said because it's a meme coin. What does meme coins do? They don't do anything. They're just simply speculative vehicles, and that is it. And if they launched one for Solana, which they did, or they filed one, it's not because it's simply only speculative. It's because it has use case utility and it is the future of crypto. That's why. That's why.
Which is going to drive the price up.
Of course.
So they
Of course. Why would Nvidia go public and why would you buy Nvidia early? Because of the tech, because of its future, because of its utility. It's very simple, bro.
But you're talking about a stock, not an ETF.
It's the same. It's exposure to the company or exposure to the asset.
To the price action.
Yeah.
Okay. I do want to share this. This is an interesting headline here. So Solana's 9% gains means it will be the fastest horse if risk on sentiment returns. So pretty much saying, Solana gained 9%. We take a look at where Solana is right now. It's sitting at $148.21. Actually moving right now. It's just at $147.55. And so how high can Solana go? And based off this headline here from Benzinga, they're saying that, hey, once risk on returns, once all this capital on the side decides to go back into the risk on markets, which includes stocks, which includes crypto and Bitcoin and altcoins and more of the speculative assets, Solana is going to be the fastest horse in the race. Interesting headline here. For me, I can see this happening. I think there's a lot going on with Solana. There's a lot of hype and excitement around Fire Dancer. We know the stable coins. I think everyone here can agree that stablecoin volume, stablecoin utility, and stablecoin use case is going to drive a lot of value into the cryptocurrency space. I think it's a win-win for everyone. I think it's a win-win for the U.S. government. I think it's a win-win for the end user. Could it help with inflation if merchants can accept stable coins and there's no 3 to 4% fee you got to pay to Visa or American Express or Discover or MasterCard? Could they potentially pass that 3-4% savings down to the consumer, bringing inflation down a little bit? Potentially, yes. And so what are your thoughts on this? Do you think with the Solana ETF filing, once the markets go risk on, Solana is going to be the fastest horse in the race?
I don't know how you can't be behind Solana right now. Like, I just don't understand how you couldn't
I am
be
behind Solana.
No, I'm not saying you're
Oh,
not.
just
I'm just
keep
saying
on
that in generally speaking, is like I just can't see anything getting in front of Solana other than network outage. If the network were to go down, I truly believe that if Solana didn't have the network outages last cycle, that it would have gave Ethereum a run for its money at the time. Right? I mean, at a previous all-time high, it was $250, but or $240. But would it gotten to $500? Because here's the thing: I think that Solana is going. If this ETF gets approved, now that's a big if. I know we're sitting here saying, hey, we got the Solana ETF.
Do you think it'll get approved under Gary Gensler?
So. Yeah,
I think so too.
And it's simply because
they're going to take their time, right? They have, I believe, 180 days.
Oh, it'll be at the very end.
Yeah.
So 180 days, so 3 months. Man, that's gonna be right smack at election. Right when the U.S. presidential elections are hitting its maximum marketing is when this is gonna come to a vote, right? And so you're gonna also have other ETF providers, other asset managers jumping into this as well. Think about it. What happened with Bitcoin ETF? How many filers were there? Initially
11.
11?
Yeah.
And then Ethereum had something comparable as well.
Comparable, yeah.
And the same thing's going to happen with Solana. Don't fool yourself. If there's a crazy amount of money on the table.
I misspoke. 240 days.
240
days. So 6 months. No, not 6 months. More than 6. 9 months.
9 months?
8 months. 8 months. 8 months. Final answer.
Okay, let's move on.
8 months. It's 8 months.
Yes, we heard 8 months. Thank you. All right, so
8 months, just in case you forgot.
What were we talking about?
So what time frame does that put our 8 months at, right? So we have July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February
Okay.
next year.
Do you get a situation where you get an approval prior to an election because they want
I
to
was gonna get there.
they want to
Look
sway
good?
voters.
That makes sense to me. That makes total sense to me, right? Everyone looked at the Ethereum ETF and how that played out, right? There was complete silence, nothing like the Bitcoin one. Everyone's like, nope, this thing is dead in the water. And in literally 3 days, we went from no way to, oh my God, it's getting approved. And so a lot of people speculated, a lot of smart people who are very tied into government and SEC and all that said this was a political move. This was a phone call from the White House. I'm not saying it was Joe Biden, but it's someone important. Picked up the phone, called Gary Gensler down at the Securities and Exchange Commission and said, hey, approve this ETF. Are we going to see something similar?
I don't know if that happened.
I don't think anyone, I mean, I'm sure people know, but I'm just saying the people that are tied in are saying that. And
I
don't have
think,
those kind of
in my opinion,
concerns.
like, okay, I wouldn't be surprised if that was a scenario, right? So what you're saying is that with the Ethereum ETF, it was dead in the water, and that the executive branch called up the SEC and said, hey, approve that. I think that's plausible. I wouldn't be floored if that happened. But what I do think happened was the SEC realized, like, hey, we're going to go to another court case about Ethereum, and then we got to answer questions on whether Ethereum's a commodity or security. And then I felt like they just knew it was a losing battle, and so they decided to approve it at the stroke of midnight. I think that's what happened. I think they also realized that there were very powerful people, powerful companies.
Rob, you don't think
BlackRock?
You don't think they would have realized that, Robin, 2 months before the final deadline? You think it was just like the weekend? Friday, we get rumors. Monday,
I just think that they were like, I think they realized they needed to do it, but they didn't want to commit and full send until really they were under the knife, right?
You know what else was weird, Robin? Is with the Bitcoin one and with every ETF, there's a commission, right? There's 5 of them with the chair, including the chair. So 5 commissioners and majority rules. And so with the Bitcoin ETF, we saw which commissioner voted yes, which voted no. Ethereum ETF, we didn't get that. Other ETFs outside of crypto, we get that. Ethereum ETF, we didn't get that. So kind of more.
Maybe we just didn't come across our desk.
No. James and Eric, the 2 Bloomberg guys, they said they couldn't find it anywhere.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's more probable than not. Sounds like you're more leaning.
I think that they've been fighting an uphill battle against the crypto companies. I mean, even the XRP and Ripple lawsuit hasn't really went their way. I think that they thought it was going to be an open shut case, and it's been a headache the whole way. Seems like Gary Gensler is getting kind of frustrated when it comes to anything crypto. We saw his interview yesterday.
He gets asked a question, he freaks out.
And so if going into a denial, you know that the courts are going to are going to put the pressure on you to approve it on the back end. And then you're also, remember, it wasn't just simply a review from the courts. They got sued, right? They literally got sued for not approving the ETF. And so, do you feel like getting sued again? Are you going to be able to win this one? If not, it's just, for me, I think that they just waved the white flag, or like, you know what? But I agree with you.
Which means they're going to wave the white flag on Solana, right?
I think so. And so just to go back to what we were saying, I think that we're probably going to get an approval, and it's not so much that the executive office is going to give them a call. Because remember, this is 2 different branches, and they're not supposed to answer calls to one another, right? Just like the Fed. Now, I understand, but just like the Fed is not supposed to pick up the phone from the government or from the president and be like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, we'll lower rates because you want us to. They're supposed to operate independently. Now, whether they do or not, probably not. Let's be real. But I mean, at the end of the day, what we could see is that you could have a shakeup at the chair. And if Biden really wants to win over some crypto votes, he could replace Gary Gensler. And if he did that, I think that would give him the ammunition to say, hey, look, I'm for crypto. I got rid of the crypto villain here. I put in Hester Pierce, and she's now the chair, or maybe someone else that is progressive thinking in crypto. I put them at that position. I think that would be a move instead of trying to call and persuade and change somebody's stance. You know what? Just get rid of the dude. And it's not like these positions aren't replaced somewhat regularly. It's not like outlandish for a president to replace that position. And so could Biden replace Gary Gensler?
I don't think so. I don't think he's going to do it. I think what he's going to try to do is save face for Gary Gensler. They're both going to work together and say, look, we approved these. Look, guys, here. You had your Ethereum. You had your Bitcoin. Now you can have your Solana.
Okay, so either way, you think that the Solana ETF gets approved, right?
Yes.
And then you agree that you're probably going to get another 10 ETF providers
Probably more.
filing applications as well.
Probably more.
So 10 plus applicants.
This will be the ETF cycle.
So 10 plus applicants for Solana all get approved, correct?
Yeah.
And then after that, even before it gets approved, I would expect here. Okay, listen. Before this gets even approved, before we even get there, next 30 days we get 2 more ETF filings, and I'm telling you, Doge is one of them. Doge is gonna be one of them, and then you can't list XRP yet because of its court case. Nobody's gonna touch it.
No one's touching BNB.
Nobody's going to touch BNB.
Uncoin might be an interesting one.
No, they haven't been around long enough. Cardano, Avalanche. I think Cardano, Avalanche, Chainlink. Chainlink would be Chainlink. Yeah. So Cardano, Avalanche, Chainlink. One of these 3, if not all 3.
Maybe Litecoin.
I do like Litecoin, but the thing is the market interest isn't there. So you have to get the applicants to apply for it, right? And so, I mean, it takes money to launch the services. You know, you got to put the infrastructure. You know, you can't just launch a product and then do absolutely nothing, right? You got to hire a team and then work with a custodial agent, offer services. And so, anyways, you got to justify the cost of launching the product, filing the application. And I don't know, man. I just don't personally think that a Litecoin is going to bring that much volume, right? Do you think a Litecoin ETF would bring a lot of volume?
No.
I don't think so either.
Which is why they won't launch.
But Cardano will for sure. Dude, I'm telling you, a Cardano ETF just makes sense, dude. If you're gonna approve Solana, why on God's earth would you not approve Cardano?
It's not about approving; it's about filing, right?
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that, like, if they file one, which I genuinely believe they will, it's just a matter of when. But if they approve the Solana one, they got to approve Cardano, right? It's been around longer. It's also a proof of stake.
Rob,
it's also similar transaction speed. It also has, and I know Solana, quote unquote, is faster, but either way, it's still kind of in that same range category of transactions per second. Has the proof of stake. They both are proof of stake. They both offer smart contracts. They both they share the same kind of check marks, right? The same bullet points, right? U.S. based company Solana out of California. You have the Cardano Foundation up in Wyoming or where's Charles stream at? His I'm just thinking about his intro.
Warm, sunny Colorado.
Colorado. There it is.
Sometimes sunny.
Sometimes, yeah. Colorado. So Colorado, I think, is where the company's based out of, and I think his ranch is in Wyoming. But either way, close ties to the U.S., both Solana and Cardano, both decentralized.
Rob, I think it's much more simpler than that. I think once the ETH ETF got approved, every other altcoin, for the most part, would get approved. I think ETH paved the way for Solana. ETH is which is gonna pave the way for Cardano and everything else that's gonna get launched. So,
you think what? Okay, so what about Tron? No.
No.
Right? Okay, see, BNB, Tron, XRP, none of those get.
I think
it, right?
XRP will eventually get one.
Yeah, but currently no, right?
Yeah.
And then Dogecoin.
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
How about Shiba Inu?
Yes.
Polkadot?
No.
Why not? What is different between Polkadot and Cardano?
I'm looking at it
from a regulatory perspective. From a regulatory perspective, what the hell is different from Cardano? Like, give me one reason why Polkadot is different from the lens of the SEC.
It's not about them getting approved. I just don't think they're going to get filings.
Why not?
I just don't. I mean, I just don't think
they're number 14 on the. They're number 14 on the market cap list. They have more volume than Shiba Inu. There is more volume, 24-hour volume right now on Polkadot than there is on Shiba Inu and Tron. And just almost the same amount as Cardano. And the same volume as Toncoin.
But are there going to be enough people that want to buy a Polkadot ETF?
It's volume, bro. That's the name of the game here.
So you are agreeing with me.
On what?
Volume is what drives ETF filings. Okay, I'm going to walk back my statement on SHIB. I don't know if SHIB will get its own ETF. I think we'll see a basket ETF that SHIB is going to be in. Then we'll see a meme coin basket. We'll see a layer one basket. We'll see a RWA basket. We'll see a macro or a large cap, mid cap, small cap basket. Kind of like the S&P has and other ETFs have basket of goods. Would I be surprised if Polkadot got one? No. Do I think we're going to get one in the next 2-3 years? No. I don't.
Okay, so the last ones here. Bitcoin Cash.
No.
Is that
maybe?
Because I mean they got listings on all the other friggin' stupid exchanges.
Well, anytime you see something integrated with crypto, like PayPal,
that's what I'm saying.
Bitcoin Cash. You don't see Polkadot. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. I think that'll be bullish for the price of Polkadot, right? Which has kind of struggled, $6.34.
What about Kaspa? Did Kaspa get an ETF?
No, but it might. You know why? Dun, dun, dun. Marathon, the largest Bitcoin mining company in the United States of America with a market capitalization of $5.3 billion, have announced that they have been actively mining Kaspa. Say, quote, diversification has been key to our investment in energy solutions and tech innovations, and it remains crucial in our digital asset compute operations. Read the full press. Here's a full press release. Goes on to talk about how Kaspa is similar to Bitcoin, being open source, decentralized, and fully scalable, being proof of work. They said in May of 2023, they began evaluating Kaspa and then deployed their first Kaspa ASIC in September of 2023 and then began scaling operations. They currently now have 93 million Kaspa tokens worth approximately $15 million with their profit margins at around 95%. We did do a video this morning that's on YouTube right now. So if you want more in-depth information from my perspective on the Kaspa, the mining, Kaspa mining from Marathon and what that means, make sure to go watch that video after the live show. Or if you're here in the live show from the video, welcome. But Rob, I shared my thoughts. What are your thoughts here, man?
It's huge, man. Right? Other than, okay, so we've been kind of waiting for these top tier exchange listings, that Coinbase and perhaps Binance.
Do you think this helps with that?
Of course it does, right? It validates the whole thing, right? And now, I mean, you can sit here and make an argument, and because the thing is like we're active in the chats for our videos, right? Look at our chats. You know, we have other communities that we're not all in on one token here, by the way, first of all, or one project. We're not all in on Cardano. We're not all in on Bitcoin or Ethereum or Solana. But we have ones that are like, there's a group of assets that we have identified as very, very promising. Kaspa is one of them. ICP is another one. Bitcoin obviously is it's king. We tip the hat to Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. Now the list goes on and on. But anyways, and there's so much hate from one community to the other. It's insane to me. But I'll say this: the people that are outspoken against Kaspa are just simply saying this, like, "Hey, it doesn't, it doesn't have the smart contracts, and it'll never compete with ICP. It'll never compete with Cardano. Ethereum is way better. Like, it's just a copy of Bitcoin, but just upgraded a little bit. Like, stop it. You know what? Marathon hasn't mined anything but Bitcoin. At one point, the largest Bitcoin miner, currently the largest Bitcoin miner in the U.S., publicly traded company, absolutely huge company, billions of dollars of investments, and they've mined Bitcoin, and now they decided to pick up one other token. One. And that's Kaspa. They didn't mine any Ethereum. They didn't mine any Bitcoin Cash. They didn't mine any Litecoin. And they've been around for a damn long time. And so they've chosen not to touch anything but Bitcoin. And now they decided to go in and mine Kaspa. Remember, this is a publicly traded company. This isn't some guy sitting around in a garage with a 5 ASICs trying to figure out like what the next token is going to pump.
You understand
this is
that
a
we
massive warehouse, huge company.
You understand that we have community members who literally have that set up, right? Garage.
Yeah, good for you.
Thank you.
But the thing is like, this is a corporation. This is a massive company. And so it speaks very loud to validate that it's here to stay, right? Marathon would not mine for a small cap token that is questionable if it's going to rally or get adoption or if it's secure. Like, if Marathon decided to mine Kaspa, they did it because they're like, hey, man, this thing is not going anywhere. People are adopting it. It's decentralized. We like it. We're here. They're a publicly traded company. They can't take on crazy risk. You can't. You have shareholders. You have your stock price. You have your evaluations. There's a lot that goes into being a publicly traded company. You can't just make reckless decisions. And so this had to have been well thought out, planned, discussed, voted on, and they went this direction for a reason. So if you're a fan of Kaspa, this notates it right there.
So Web3 and me put in the chat. So he said, so more selling from the miners. I kind of shared my thoughts. We know with Bitcoin, one of the things that people were bullish on when ETH went from proof of work to proof of stake was, hey, no more sell pressure from the miners. Forrest talks about this all the time. He's like, they're always going to have sell pressure from Bitcoin miners. Rob, what are your thoughts on people saying that, hey, we're going to get more people mining, hash rate's going to go up, they're going to have overhead, it's just going to be the same thing with Bitcoin, right? Just a lot of sell pressure from miners. What are your thoughts on that?
When the hell has the miners crashed the price of Bitcoin?
A couple times.
No. They have not. The drawdowns we've seen, the volatility was not because a miner decided to sell. It might have caused price suppression. The miners holding might move the market a little bit or might put more influence. But realistically, the miners aren't the ones that tank the price. It's the leverage. The leverage is the reason Bitcoin draws down 40%. 35% drawdowns, or when you go into a bear market and you're down 70%, it ain't the miners that put us there. It's the people that over leverage, that 10x, that put their Bitcoin in the custody of somebody else that they couldn't trust, that went under, companies blow up. That is why we've had drawdowns in crypto. That's why the price moves. So mining Kaspa, if anything, you have a company that is going to regularly mine, secure the network, and sell at expected intervals, right? They're not going to just mine and hodl Kaspa. They're going to sell that damn thing. Now, miners historically have kept reserves and keep a certain amount. But also when it comes to exchanges, look at Bitcoin. Where do the exchanges get their Bitcoin from? They go to the miners. They go to the mining pools. Right.
Which you bring up a really good point, and I'm only cutting you off because it's relative to what you're saying. Let me play devil's advocate here for a second, okay? With Bitcoin miners, they can sell to a Coinbase, to a Binance OTC, correct?
Yeah.
Kaspa doesn't really have that.
That's exactly what I'm saying before you cut me off. So they buy from the miners. So if you're looking for these exchange listings, if you're looking for these top tier exchanges, we sat down with the Kaspa team and they've spoken to like, hey, provide us liquidity, pay for listings, do this X, Y, and Z. None of this happens with Bitcoin, right? They go to the miners for Bitcoin. And so are we going to find a similar situation? Because if Marathon starts mining, which I mean they are mining, if others join suit, let's just say you got Core Scientific and all of the other major players,
Riot.
Riot also mining Kaspa, and now all of a sudden they're all sitting on a bunch of Kaspa. Where are they supposed to sell that? There's going to be an exchange that pops up that can bring in those tokens, especially if they need it for their order books.
Who comes first, Binance or Coinbase?
Binance.
I agree. Yeah, I was going to make that point. I was going to play devil's advocate, but I was also going to play devil's advocate to my devil's advocate and say that if anything, it's going to help the big exchange listings because you want tokens, you want liquidity. Well, we don't have a fund to give you. Marathon does. They got 93 million Kaspa tokens. So here you go, my friends. But, it was very interesting when I talked to Shai on that video we did. I said, how scalable can Kaspa really get? And what he said was very interesting. He said, only as much as it needs to, right? So they're not going to go to 1,000 blocks per second if they don't need to. Because if you go to 1,000 blocks per second, mining probably going to get more expensive. It's going to take more money to secure the network. And so
it's actually kind of the opposite. If you go too high at transactions, it draws down the profitability of the miners. And so big knock on Bitcoin. Because remember, there's lots of parallels.
They kind of tie in though, right? Because you would need to have more ASICs, buy more things.
No. Hear me out. Just like Bitcoin, right? If you do however many transactions, I don't know how many transactions are in a block, right? But they're all paying to have their transaction mined, right? It's essentially, we see with Ethereum, as you get too many transactions, the price goes up. Same thing happens with Bitcoin. And if you throw the throughput up, let's just say we did 100x transactions, 100x more transactions for every block of Bitcoin. Now the fees are so low that the revenue is gonna fall off tremendously, right? Then the only thing that you have at that point is just the block reward. That's it. But remember that Bitcoin is moving over to a transaction model. And Kaspa also has this in play as well. So
that's kind of not true, though. Because unless the blocks are not filled, if they expand the block size and the blocks continue to get filled, you can potentially make more money, right? Instead of $10, $50 transactions, you do 1,000 $1 transactions or $2 transactions, you're making more money. You're making more money. But if the blocks are filled.
No, I don't know. I watched the video on Michael Saylor, and he was explaining that with the block wars, if you were to increase transactions, you're going to decrease profits from miners because the transactions themselves aren't worth as much, and that they're not earning as much money. I don't exactly remember. My man put it together very well, but
he's pretty good at that.
At the end of the day, like you start messing with your throughput, you're messing with the profit. You're messing with the profit margins, right?
I think the one thing to keep in mind here, and we'll move off Kaspa after I say this, but proof of work, right? You need hash rate to make the network secure. And how do you get hash rate? You onboard people like Marathon. It's only going to make Kaspa more secure. And so meeting the team and seeing what they're doing, I have full faith in that those guys are going to make the correct decisions, or the Kaspa community will make the correct decisions when it comes to scaling and what they need to do. Make sure that the network is secure, profitable, and is able to hand load a crap load of throughput and transactions. Do want to share the Bitcoin ETF flows here, and then we'll get into some Gary Gensler news. So for the fourth consecutive day, BlackRock threw up a goose egg. Fidelity, 18.6 million in inflows. Grayscale seeing inflows of 4.3 million, bringing our total net flow to $21.4 million. We had this news as well. BlackRock disclosed buying Bitcoin for its global allocation fund in its latest SEC filing. This is the third internal BlackRock fund that has bought Bitcoin through the IBIT Bitcoin. So we know their equity income one. They bought Bitcoin for that. Forget the second one. And then here we have the third one, their global allocation fund. And so this is great, man. Speaking of ETFs, here is the newest commercial from Bitwise. Pretty good. Oh, and I got to turn on my sound. Give me 2 seconds. All right. So this might be one of my favorite ones here that they've done.
Big finance. Did you change?
What? No, I'm always like this. You want to hang out? When moon, man.
Do you even know what that means?
No, I do not.
That was pretty good. Anyways, let's talk about some Gary Gensler news here. Gary G is getting sued by Coinbase. So Coinbase sues U.S. regulators, the SEC and the FDIC, alleging a, quote, deliberate and concerted effort to pressure banks to deny crypto firms access to the federal banking system. It's about damn time. Of course, we know lawsuits take a while, so we're not going to see anything unless they settle out of court, which I don't think is going to happen. I think Gary Gensler's time is very limited, so he can care less what happens. Kind of like what Jay Clayton did back in 2020.
You think that this ties into all of those stories we hear where, hey, my bank account got shut down because I was onboarding or selling crypto or whatever it was?
Not just people's bank accounts, but like these exchanges and businesses, right?
Yeah.
And the Sob 121.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you also got Custodia Bank. I think they also just filed a lawsuit as well against the SEC.
Which is good, man. You got to keep these people in check. Then the SEC took another L from Eleanor Tourette. So she reposted this. The one down here says, Supreme Court has just ruled in a 6-3 vote that when the SEC seeks penalties for fraud, a defendant is entitled to a jury trial in federal court as opposed to being subjected to the agency's in-house legal proceeding. What does this mean? The move essentially hamstrings all federal agencies, not just the SEC, by burdening them with having to try their cases in federal court.
We're the jury, man. We're the jury. Yeah.
This is big, right?
Put 12 people on the stand. I mean, put 12 people in the jury. That's a grand jury is 12. I don't know if they would use a grand jury, because I know that also jury cases have like 2 sometimes, but I know that's for local. Anyways, I don't know. Put a bunch of people in those damn juror chairs, and I know for a fact that some of them hold some shit. Some of them have exposure to Bitcoin, bro. And you know what? They're probably gonna be frustrated. Remember, 50.
All you need is one degen up there, Robin. Just one.
Yeah, you get one loony Bitcoin maxi up there at the juror. They're over there deliberating. He's like, no, not your wallet, not your keys. It's like, you know what? The SEC, Gary Gensler's the devil. Like, and then because imagine you had one of me or someone like yourself. You get any of these weirdos. I mean, let's be honest. The super passionate crypto people, they're pretty strange, right? You guys are a little weird. I'm a little weird. But anyways, we won't shut up. That's why, like, we always talk about the guy that won't shut up about crypto at the Thanksgiving Day table. Imagine, as a juror, if you are passionate about crypto, you are going to alienate that whole damn room.
Can you imagine a single juror orange pilling every single other jury member in the deliberation room? This deliberation is taking like 88 hours. Yeah, no, what the hell's going on?
Like, it'll be your turn to speak. It'd be like,
get Michael Saylor on the phone.
No. It'd be your turn to speak. You'd be like, all right, 2008. Peer-to-peer electronic cash.
Pulls out
Bitcoin
the
white paper. What is money? Let's go over that. Yeah.
Have you seen Michael Saylor's podcast?
Bretton Woods agreement. Like, next thing you know, I'm telling you, man. Nah, honestly, you get people out there. I think that jurors are going to understand the position of crypto companies, right? And I think that judges, they more look at laws and are like, hey, it's been like this for millions of years, it's been like this for hundreds of years. the SEC's been at it with the SEC's been at its regulatory framework and it's worked, and we're gonna abide by the laws that they have in place. Nah, you know what? You get jurors in there, they're not gonna think that way. They're gonna be like, hey man, why are y'all shooting down this crypto thing? Like, what's going on? Why not? What's wrong with Bitcoin? It's not fake anymore, right? It's not a Ponzi scheme. We agree. We agree. You agree. You agree. We agree. Cool. Let's go.
It'd be very interesting. I want to give a shout out to Andrea, $20 super chat. Said, let me read this here. Could you do okay, so she wants you guys to do a 1 in the chat if you think Bitcoin will go below 52K this year, and put a 2 if it won't go below 56. So 1 if you think it will go below 52, 2 if you don't think it'll go below 56. Put a 1 or 2 in the chat. Also, speaking of polls, I did do a poll. We have our first presidential debate today. Joe Biden's been at Camp David for a whole week preparing. Why do I get the feeling that they're maybe keeping him away from the spotlight for a week and then sending a robot up there, just like you showed in the beginning? And people are like, well, we haven't seen him in a week. Maybe he's changed.
So, I mean, I think it's obvious. We're going to be tuned into it.
What's your vote here, by the way, Rob?
Huh?
What's your vote to this question here? Will the crypto question be one of the first 3 in today's debate?
I think it's a better question. Is it even going to be a question?
Really?
Yeah.
You don't think it'll be a question at some
The thing is like, okay, who was running it? Was it
CNN?
CNN, right? So let's just say you have 15 questions, right? They probably come to the drawing board with 30 questions, 50 questions. They have to remove questions, right? They have to take questions out. And so you got to ask yourself, like, what is the most important topics? And does CNN believe, as a moderator, that question is more important than the other 15? Here's a good example. Did you watch the Tucker Carlson El Salvador interview?
Yes.
Okay.
Not a single Bitcoin question.
Tucker Carlson has had Michael Saylor. It's not that he's against it. It's obvious it is a very big issue, huge issue for the economy. Yet he didn't ask a single question.
I was more surprised.
Let me tell you one more thing. What is the name of the podcast? There's a podcast. What's the guy that did the $1 million Bitcoin bet?
Balaji.
Yeah, Balaji. He has a podcast. Him and 3 other people.
All In podcast.
All In podcast.
That's not Balaji. That's Chamath, David Sachs.
Chamath. Yeah. Chamath. Yeah. Okay. All In podcast. They had Trump on there last week.
Yep.
Didn't ask a single crypto question. And these people talk crypto. They didn't ask him a single freaking crypto question.
It's a fair point.
And so at the end of the day, I think that, like, as a journalist, you're looking at what are the 15 most important questions, or maybe it's 8 questions. I don't know how many they have, but it's not going to be 50 questions, right? So they probably have somewhere between 6 and 15 questions. Do you think crypto is it? Well, abortion's definitely going to be in there, right? And then you also got
economy.
Yeah. So for me, if I had to put a percentage, I'm about 50-50, man. I know you said yesterday 70, and your poll here is it will be one of the first 3 questions. I don't even know if it's going to be a question. That's my thing.
All right.
For us, it's a very important topic, but you don't see much CNN coverage on Bitcoin.
We'll see. I think there will be. Rob doesn't think so. So we'll see who's right.
I'm 50-50. I'm not saying I don't think that it's going to be, but I would not at all be surprised. I'm not going to come in here tomorrow and be like, I cannot believe they didn't ask a Bitcoin. Like, what? Like, not even. I would expect 50-50. So that's where I'm at.
You know what I'm not 50-50 on and I'm 100% on is our channel sponsors. And today's show is brought to you by Legacy Network. Legacy Network is looking to help you self-improve in self-improvement, whether it's time management, business, or anything else, in a fun, exciting app. And pair that with making money with their LGCT token that'll be launching soon. Their app is in beta testing mode. They're finishing up the final product, should be going live In the next few weeks, make sure to click the link in the description, join their Telegram so you can stay up to date on everything Legacy Network. I want to share this video. We talk about inflation, right? We talked about this yesterday, 4%. We can all agree that's a load of crap. You threw out a 12% up there. I think for some things it's even higher. Let's take a look at this video, Robin. Very, very interesting here, okay? Let's watch this.
I feel like I'm gonna be sick. I just looked through my Walmart history and I found this Walmart order from 2 years ago for the whole month worth of groceries. 45 items cost $126. A whole month of groceries just for me, basically. But I did notice this reorder all button, and I wanted to see how much it would cost now. Now, this order of 45 items for 1 month would have cost $414. That is 4 times more.
That's from 2022 to now.
The thing is that these inflation numbers, they are not real gauge on inflation. They don't take into consideration a multitude of variables. They measure different baskets of good that are ever changing that benefit the headline number, right? And then on top of that, we don't even put in the cost of borrowing, right? We simply say, hey, what is the price of a home, right? What's the home price? What's the car price, right? What's the car price right now on inflation? It's pretty close, right? It's like 5% or something like that, inflation. But what's the percentage rate on borrowing a 4-year note? It's 10+%. So yeah, your $30,000 car might be only up from $29,000 the year before, but so your car it went from $29,000 to $30,000. Okay, cool. It's only a little bit of an increase on the price of the car. It's not even that much, right? It's up $1,500 from the year before MSRP. So you can simply say, oh, there's not inflation, but no. Go try to buy the car. Go sign the paperwork on a 5-year, a 7-year loan with a 12%. That $30,000 car costs you $42,000. And last year it didn't cost you $42,000. Last year it cost you $36,000 because of the headline rate on borrowing. And look at a house. We look at house prices. House prices are sitting there, CPI on a new home, whatever. It's up. It's up 10%, 8%, 3%, whatever it is. But how much money does it cost to buy a home now?
I'll add to that. What do people go to when they're struggling with money? They go to their credit cards.
Yeah.
And so what are those interest rates? 30%?
Exactly. So yeah, this headline number, this 4%, it's BS because the cost of borrowing and anything that you borrow money on, anything and everything that you borrow money on a long term has an elevated interest rate, which means you're paying more out of pocket. And prior to the Fed hiking up interest rates, so if you go back to 2021 and you look at how much things have increased in price since then, it's a no-brainer, right? You also factor in all this other stuff. And you got to think about it. As a business owner, you're borrowing money to expand, right? Walmart's taking out loans, right? They have to. Walmart takes out loans. So does your grocery store. So does the gas station. These are business owners. Business owners have needs. They either expand, they get a new office, whatever it is. They got repairs. They take out loans. They take out loans that cost more money. They have to. That all goes into the business model. And so that's why you're seeing prices at Walmart go up. That's why the prices of groceries are going up, because the price of borrowing is up as well.
What isn't up? Bitcoin's not up on the 1 hour.
Our likes are not up. That's what's not up.
Wow.
Only 60 likes. What's going on here?
That's terrible. Let's take a look at the markets.
All right. So taking a look, we got Bitcoin coming in at 61,700. So decent rebound from yesterday. So you can see here on the 24-hour chart that, we went from that 60K mark. We even went down and tested 60,500 and then over 62,000 briefly. And now you look at the 1 week, you can see that, hey, we're still spilled off from 65. Go back to the month, Still not that great, but go back to the year. I do think that we are consolidating for a big move to the upside, and this is the final stop before we get back up over 70,000. And it's just the direction of the market. We know what happens in a bull market. You go up and to the right, especially post-halving. And we are post-halving, and we're expecting the gains to start taking off. Now, taking a look at some of the biggest gainers. Book of Memes up 16%. Akash, Conflux, Maker, Jupiter, Solana up 10%. So Solana and Kaspa here, obviously they have these bullish narratives behind them. Marathon for Kaspa. Solana has the ETF. And then, the AI with Akash, perhaps the failure of launching the merge for the AI tokens, or at least the delay in that. Maybe that has something to do with the Akash network getting such a big rally today, or maybe it's just the AI sector. Because remember, in the last 2 days, we've seen Fetch and SingularityNet have 30% gains on the week. And so, we always talk about, hey, sectors like to move. If you notice that 2 AI projects moved this week, but yet one hasn't, maybe that's a great opportunity to get into the market. And then some of the ones that have pulled back, there it is. Fetch and SingularityNet, both down over 10% on the day. So,
Ricky wants to know, what's your price prediction for Solana by the end of the year?
I think $1,000.
End of the year?
$1,000.
By the end of the year.
$1,000, bro. We don't just throw numbers out there for no reason. ETF, man, it's going to catch buzz. The election here is going to usher in a crypto-friendly and progressive movement. I think that the U.S. becomes the leader in crypto this next election, right? I think that we stop offloading crypto services to offshore exchanges, and that it ends up being a homegrown product. We are the center of the financial web, right? The financial ecosystem runs through the U.S., right? The U.S. dollar is the world reserve currency. And you know what? Every country offers crypto at this point, with the exception of maybe China and some others, but they still even have exposure there. And so the importance of crypto globally can't be denied. And so I think that the presidential candidates have woken up to this. Congress is making new bills to usher in crypto adoption, clarify, offer progressive regulation. That's coming. And so I know it sounds crazy, but with ETF, the election, Solana's network effect is crazy, man. Okay, so I think that Solana is like Ethereum of last bull market. Ethereum, what happened last bull market? It had the smart contracts, it had all the meme coins, or it had the NFTs, it had the DeFi, it had the total value locked, it had people using the network. Everything that Solana is doing now, or at least ramping up as far as percentages wise, where is the growth? Where is the growth of the networks? Who's got the most growth in layer one smart contracts? Who has had the most growth in this bull market? Solana, by a mile. Now, Ethereum is still relevant. They're still doing their thing, but Solana is growing exponentially this bull market, as was Ethereum last bull market. And Ethereum, I'm sorry you dropped the ball on all your hard forks and your upgrades. You're still slow. Just the reality of it. And so here's a faster competitor that's growing in community, that is making partnerships, that is growing way faster than you are at the very beginning of a bull market. And so you ask me, where is it going to be at the end of the year? I think it's over $1,000, especially you got ETF coming. Jesus Christ, bro. It's going to absolutely be a bloodbath.
I think it'll be 1,000, but not by the end of the year. I think closer to first 4 months of next year. Would I be surprised if it hits 1,000 by the end of the year? I would, a little bit. Would I be happy? Absolutely, because I got a big fat bag of Solana, baby.
I look at where we're at in the cycle and compare that to Ethereum. And so Ethereum, I think, in a very comparable stage of last bull market was around $500. right when it was starting to tick up. Okay, so if you go back to 2017, its previous all-time high was $1,300, right? And so when it was at, let's say $1,000, it was getting near its previous all-time high. It ran up 4x. And so, yeah, I mean, I just kind of look at it from cycle to cycle. I think it's very similar.
Time will tell, but we're very, very bullish on Solana. That'll do it for the show today. Big thank you to everyone watching, and make sure to come back tomorrow. With that being said, Rocco, the new type of tornado. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. We hope you enjoyed the content. We put out 2 videos today, one yesterday. We got another one coming tomorrow. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, support the channel, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Love you. Peace.
Crypto. Everybody know we here for entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Named according to your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy the dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming, hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon, then to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado close ya.